Hello, this is Dr. Barry Shealy again, and we're talking about our classroom observation instrument and our domains that we're addressing as we observe teacher performance. The second domain that we're looking at, the first one, recall, was worldview and perspective. The second is our planning and objectives. Now let me revisit this rubric that I had. So again, as we look at each of these domains, these elements, we're looking again at levels of performance. We're trying to ascertain where a teacher might be. And the beginning teacher, remember, maybe trying, maybe implementing some things successfully and some things not, but it's not quite sure what the next step is if things don't go well. They're not quite sure where they need to grow or what went wrong. And so they need support. They need somebody to come alongside them, give them guidance and feedback, and help them. Developing, remember that person may not implement everything well or perfectly. Some things they will do very well, but they're able to reflect and they're able to determine what needs improvement, and they're able to come up with a plan. The proficient teacher is secure, is flexible, uses best practice, and then the leading teacher also knows how to reflect on the things that they're doing and share them with others. They're able to say why something worked and something went well. Okay, so in planning and objectives, we often use this term objective-led learning. We are looking for teachers to have a plan, have a map, have a roadmap that they're going to follow, and that they're to help their students learn. And the plan, and we have several elements that go into this plan. So we're looking, does the teacher have a plan? Do they know what they're doing? Does the plan have appropriate starting and ending points? Are they starting where their students are? Are they ending up where their students need to go? Is the plan communicated well to the students? Do students know? Are they given a road map? Do they know what's expected of them? These are the ideas that we're looking at. Now, if you look at your teacher observation instrument, you'll see in this domain, the first element is actually very closely related to the first domain. The teacher communicates and establishes clear connection to essential questions or questions of inquiry. You'll recognize that terminology of a questions for inquiry from the IB program. So the idea is there a big picture? Are we looking at the forest and not just the trees, if you want to use that idiom? Is there a big picture that this lesson is cast in? I've seen IB evaluate unit plans for some teachers, and often one of the criticisms that they'll say is that the question of inquiry seemed tacked on or wasn't well developed. So are there essential questions? Is there some big idea? And this could be related to the worldview, but it could be something smaller. Is there some question or that provides the context for what they're doing? So as I said, it should be foundational and not feel tacked on. It should provide a big picture for the lesson. Does the teacher provide a big picture that's going to be revisited during the lesson? The second element is related to objective-led learning. Does the teacher have clear objectives? Are those communicated well to students so that they know what they're supposed to learn, and they also know what it looks like once they have learned? That's why I like this image of a painter, this boy painting a landscape. He's able to see the landscape, so he knows what it's supposed to look like. and then he tries to evaluate that. Now, the success criteria, I believe that's terminology that's often used in the Cambridge system for the image of what it looks like to have accomplished it. Students should know what they are to learn and how they are to develop. So that's what you're looking at. Are the objectives for the lesson clearly communicated, and do the students know what they're supposed to do and what it's supposed to look like when they've done? The third element is what I would call higher order thinking and deeper learning. Objectives and activities address a variety of cognitive levels and conceptual understanding. So the objectives should be broad and address higher order thinking. But what does that mean? Well, that's a whole other training session, but in this PowerPoint, I do have some resources that can be used. Bloom's Taxonomy, many of you will be experienced with that. Are some of the questions and elements that are asked, the teacher is asking, are they different levels of Bloom's Taxonomy? Is it not just remember and understand, but also evaluating and creating? This is actually the revised version for those of you who know, like me, who went to school in the 70s and 80s. But this is a good framework to use. Deeper learning. When we talk about deeper learning or conceptual understanding, we're really looking at more than just isolated facts and methods. That students can use a variety of competencies to solve problems, to address situations, and it's just far beyond just simple recall. And so we're looking at some of that. So you're looking that the teacher is using some of those objectives. Now, another area of planning is that the teacher demonstrates a knowledge of their students and their students' readiness to learn. So you'll see the objective there in the instrument. It says understands and connects to students' backgrounds and prior learning. So what you should see here is that the teacher clearly knows what the students already know and are able to do and takes that into account. They may activate that by reviewing, by asking students some questions early on, or they may demonstrate that they already, with other information they've collected from their students, they know. And also, they have taken into account student background and differences that may impact the student's learning. So you're looking for those types of elements. Do they use the knowledge of their students to plan what they're going to do in their instruction?